Beautiful. Just making sure we got everything set up. Lovely. Okay. Beautiful. Hopefully everything's working all good. Let's wait for some more people to get in. Beautiful. Okay. Lovely. Everything should be good now and good to go. Hello everyone and welcome to the double Gameweek 34 deadline stream. Definitely a bit to go through today. Going to be discussing obviously our team transfers, discuss team news, see predicted lineups, latest injury news. Obviously there's been some injury concerns with Bruyne and I believe it was Jota as well. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream as well. Thanks for getting in early. Alex, mate, how you going? Lester, how you going? My boy G, how's it going? Yes, we're kind of just going to go through our transfer plans, go through how the team's looking, our thoughts for upcoming game weeks, and team news and all that sort of stuff. Real quick, if you did miss our team selection video, we uploaded it yesterday. I locked in our transfer as well, actually, yesterday on our team selection video. Really quick, here's how we got on last week, Gameweek 33, 69 points. A perfect score if you ask me for FPL. Massive fan of that. Not a great game week rank, but still enough to take a slight green arrow to 421. As you can see here, it's now 6 consecutive green arrows. So despite them not being very big, we have slightly improved our FPL rank in recent weeks. So hopefully we can try and push inside the top 100k, which will require a massive double game week 34. But I'm pretty keen on our team for double game week 34. And Leicester, sorry, Super Clock YT, bro. I will be answering that question. What do I think about triple captaining Haaland? I'm going to go over that in just a minute when I go over to the team. Here is the side right now, boys. As you can see here, the defense, it's lovely. De Gea, Trippier, Estupiñán, Shaw, a very solid defense. 3 players tripling. We've got Trippier in there as well. Midfield, I'm loving the midfield 5 as well. Rashford, March, Matoma, Salah, Andreas, all with double game weeks. And then, as you can see here, Salah's got the triple vice captaincy on him, which of course means the man, the myth, the legend, Erling Haaland. Of course he's going to have the triple captain's armband on him. Form away West Ham at home. There's no way I'm missing out on the opportunity this week, boys. You've got your triple captainship still available. Slap it on Erling Haaland this week. I'm going for him. Salah's a good differential, to be fair. Rashford as well. Villa at home, Brighton away, a good differential. Maybe you could go for those Brighton lads, March and Matoma. Also, some good differential triple captain picks. But for me, Erling Haaland's my boy. 3 double-digit hauls in a row now. 14 against Arsenal last week. Excellent fixtures this week. Fulham away, West Ham at home. You could arguably look to triple captain him in Gameweek 37 as well, Chelsea, Brighton, but I think this week is definitely the better set of fixtures. So for me, Haaland's taking my triple captain armband. Henry, Botman, Watkins on the bench. A pretty solid bench for us this week. Obviously, would have been a nice bench boost opportunity, but of course, I've already used that chip and I want to get the triple captain on Erling Haaland. Yellow flag on KDB is gone, but still there for Jota. Yep. That is good news for KDB owners. I just wanted to discuss those comments made by Pep in his press conference. Despite Kevin De Bruyne's niggles not explicitly being mentioned by Pep Guardiola in his presser, there was a long ramble about tactics and all that, as you expect with Pep. But the quote was, everyone except Nathan is fit. So when he's talking about Nathan, he's referring to Nathan Ake, which should mean Kevin De Bruyne is good to go. And I was looking at his predicted chance of starting, and he's got a 100% chance of playing according to Fantasy Football Fix. So as you can see here, the yellow flag's gone. The man's been in excellent form, 4 consecutive returns, including a mega haul last week against Arsenal. He also could be a really good triple captain pick if you've got De Bruyne in your team. Maybe you want to mix it up. You don't want to go for Haaland, take a bit of a risk. De Bruyne, a good candidate as well. But I'm definitely looking to get in De Bruyne around Gameweek 35, 36. Leeds at home, Everton away. I'm probably going to go Salah to De Bruyne. Obviously, Salah, he's been in good touch as well. 3 returns in his last 4. But 35, he's got Brentford, 36 Leicester, then Villa, Southampton. All single game week fixtures, which are solid to be fair, but De Bruyne has that double game week, which does make him a lot more tempting. So I think in switching to De Bruyne could be the play. McNesh, triple captaining Haaland is a good choice, thank you. I think it's a great choice as well. For me, he's my favourite triple captain pick. Gee, what do you think about the hate from UK FPL content creators? Oh, it's funny. Good on you bringing the fire from Australia, of course. Got to represent Australia, man. Of course. Nah, I mean, it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. If they don't like me, that's fine. That's up to them. But I'm going to keep banging out the content. That's the play. But I just love making FPL videos. I don't want to try and start beef with anyone. I don't want to try and offend anyone. I'm just here making FPL videos, trying to have a good time. And I appreciate all the love that I get in the videos as well, boys. Best Man City defender apart from Diaz. Yeah, I was discussing Man City defensive options. It was in the transfer plans video. I was going over 3 replacements for Ben White. It was like Trent, Luke Shaw, and Diaz were the 3 players I talked about. I still like Diaz the most. Look at his minutes here. I don't know, since game week 23, he started every single game, played the full 90 in every single game. Diaz started every game since game week 23. I think he's good. Obviously, he's pretty pricey at 6 mil. Let's pull up some other Man City defenders. You could also go a couple of other players for Man City. I was looking at maybe a Kanji. He got back into the side, played a full 90 minutes last week. He's also played quite a bit, or just a 45 in game week 31. So maybe a Kanji at 5 mil. Stones also could be a good pick. He came off the big 9-pointer with himself getting a goal, which is good. His minutes have been a lot more inconsistent though. Ake was looking good, but of course he's flagged, so he's going to be out. Almost confirmed, especially after those comments from Pep in the press conference. So for me, I'd probably go a Kanji. I think he's been the most consistent across the year as well. Pretty good minutes, 1,000 or nearly 2,000 minutes across the season, and especially recently, he's been doing very well in terms of getting minutes. So I think a Kanji would be the guy if it's not Diaz. Otherwise, Edison as well, a really good option in goals. Alex, have you decided to keep Kane instead of Trent? Would you bring in one of Alisson or Edison for a -8? Yeah, I was discussing that last week on the last week's deadline stream. It might have been game week 32 even. What to do, whether I wanted to get in Trent. Obviously, I didn't have enough money. I had 0.8 left in the bank, and I had Ben White here, so I couldn't afford to go up to Trent. I could have gone Kane down to, say, for example, Isak. He's been in really good touch, of course. I'll get that Man City filter off. If we went in Isak here, we could obviously easily... I mean, we could probably go Henry if you wanted to up to Trent, because he's not going to get too many minutes. I could do that, which is definitely an option that's possible. But at the same time, I don't think I'm going to be getting too much value out of Trent from game week 35 onwards. I'm probably not going to be able to get him in for game week 34 just because I don't have any free transfers. I don't want to go and take a -8 just to do Kane out, Henry out. So then if you look at Liverpool's fixtures from game week 35, Brentford, Leicester, Villa, Southampton, yes, they're pretty solid fixtures. Obviously, they're all single game weeks though. So I think instead of upgrading Henry, if I wanted to downgrade Kane to free up some money, I'd probably be Andreas that I look to upgrade. And then that allows me to get in this man here, Jack Grealish. Obviously for Man City's fixtures being very, very strong for the rest of the season. 35 Leeds, 36 Everton, then the double, then Brentford away. I think maybe Jack Grealish is one of my more important transfer targets, should I say. With that in mind, I do really want to try and hold on to Kane for the rest of the season if possible. So I'll sort of show you a way that I can try and get in Grealish. Obviously, these are really good single game weeks, 35 to 38 here for Kane. And I think he still will be the second highest scoring forward for the rest of the season behind Haaland. So if I kept Kane in here, if I wanted to get in Grealish for Andreas, that's 2.5 extra I have to make up. I'm probably going to have to downgrade Ramsdale, obviously downgrade Henry as well. Getting Olsen here, or I think Averson might be one of the cheaper keepers, 3.8. That gives me 3, so I still can't quite afford Grealish if that were to be the move I make. That I'd probably have to also downgrade Watkins as well. I think if I go Isak in here, I can just afford him. I'm not sure. No, I still can't. So I have to drop Watkins down even further and also drop down Henry to be able to get in Grealish, which is definitely an option I can make. It's just a lot of transfers to get in Grealish, and I still really want Kane. So at this point, it's unless I go Grealish in for another one of my midfielders, whether that's Rashford, Salah, Matoma, March. But instead of going for Grealish, what I'm thinking is 35, 36, just to get an extra Man City player. I go Salah to De Bruyne. That does free up a little bit of money. That's 2.1. Thinking about that now, I still can't quite get to Andreas. I did Henry out. Grealish in. Sorry, there's a lot of tinkering here. 3.6. I still can't quite. So I probably have to miss out on Grealish. I want to hold Kane. Get a verse in there. So I think De Bruyne in for Salah around Gameweek 35, 36. I could also go for Isak in for Watkins as well if I wanted to get on the Newcastle lads for Gameweek 36 for their double game week. That's sort of what I'm thinking. Salah to De Bruyne definitely is the plan around Gameweek 35, 36 though. Sorry, lads, that was a lot of tinkering. I wouldn't look to get in Alisson or Edison for a -8, just because I've got De Gea here. I think De Gea is a really good alternative. If you're looking for a good goalkeeper alternative to Alisson, Edison, in my opinion, I think De Gea is the next best option. 5 mil is a lot cheaper than those two guys. He's got the double 34, he's got the double 37, and then look at these single game week fixtures. Wolves at home, game week 36 is really, really nice. Fulham at home in game week 38, also extremely good. I would expect Manchester United to at least get 1 clean sheet, if not 2 clean sheets in those games. West Ham away is probably their hardest game week for the rest of the season. Obviously, they have harder fixtures in terms of Brighton away is probably a hard one, but it's a part of a double game week. So I think De Gea is a really good alternative, and I don't really want to get rid of De Gea to go to either Alisson or Edison. So I'm happy to hold on to De Gea. I've got Luke Shaw in as well. I'm a big fan of that Manchester United defence. Also, that United defence has been in really good form. A lot better form than Liverpool's and Man City's in the last 4 weeks. What's that now? 4 clean sheets in the last 6 for De Gea. 3 clean sheets in the last 4. And he's getting some good saves as well. 5 saves against Tottenham, which was good. So despite not getting the clean sheet, still picking up save bonus. 4 saves here, 4 saves here as well. And game weeks 27 and 29. So I'm really happy with De Gea and goals right now. Leicester wanted to pick KDB, but went to Grealish instead due to uncertainty. Target to bring him in for game week 37. Yeah, fair enough. I think De Bruyne is going to be a big transfer target on a lot of people's minds for the rest of the season. What to do with Jota? Will he start? I'll have a look at Liverpool's predicted lineups right now. I'll also just go over, see if I can find any comments on Jota here. Well, the news is Diogo Jota should recover from a knock to the back that he picked up in Wednesday's win over West Ham. Although Klopp did leave a little bit of doubt with the striker's involvement on Sunday, saying that we'll have to see how the problem developed. So that's interesting. I'll have a look at Liverpool's predicted side, as I said. Well, they got first fixtures against Spurs. So for Liverpool's lineup against Spurs, Jota with a 59% chance to play. So still decent. I guess you would expect him to start based on that probability. And the second fixture, it's around 80%. So even if he does miss the first fixture against Spurs, or maybe he just comes off the bench, he's got an 80% chance of playing the second fixture, which is the better fixture of Fulham at home. So that's good signs for Jota owners. So I think I'd still be looking to hold on to Jota. He's got a good chance of playing both fixtures, around 60% chance of playing the first one, 80% chance of playing the second one. So that's some pretty good confidence. Let's talk Vinyl Jacket from the UK. Great, keep up the good work. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate the love from UK. I really want to go to England one day. It'd be awesome. Or just anywhere in the UK. Justin, what's up, brother? Not going to lie. I thought it would be easy to choose a free hit team. I've changed mine about 20 times. Yeah, I know it's tough this way. There's so many options that you can consider, whether you want to go for a more differential team or you just want to stay template. The players that I would say I'd really like to have if I was on a free hit would probably be De Bruyne. I think he's an essential one. Haaland as well. I think these two Brighton lads also pretty solid. March and Matoma. Rashford has to be in there. Whether you can afford Salah as well. If you can afford triple premium, it could be worthwhile. Dropping Kane down, I don't think Kane's a good free hit option. Liverpool away, it's an okay fixture. I wouldn't be surprised if he scores, but I think he's not the best free hit option. There's a couple of options that I would prefer. Jack Grealish also could be worthwhile. Triple Man City, I think, is a must. You could definitely go triple Brighton, whether you wanted to go Stupinian or go for another Brighton attacker. I'll leave that up to you. Trippier is always a good option. I'd probably be keen for at least a Manchester United defender, along with Trent as well, because he's been in superb assisting form, 5 assists in his last 4. And Manchester United, obviously, they've got a lot of clean sheets, 3 clean sheets in the last 4 games. But yeah, I know with just so many players doubling, it is hard to try and choose a starting 11 because there's so many good options. But I think Andreas as well, a really good budget enabler. You could either play him or just have him on the bench in case one of your players doesn't play. 4.4, I believe he is, yeah, and he's got a double game week. He's been in pretty good touch, coming off 10 points, game week 32, it's not bad. 6 and 29, a couple of assists in 26. So Andreas also a solid option. So I thought Kane to Greenwood, Martinelli to Salah, and Ray to Edison for a -8. Should I do it? Is it worth it? It's not a bad set of moves. Obviously, Kane is an option that I really like. Obviously, this week, it's not the best fixture, Liverpool away. You could afford to get rid of Kane from the team. Martinelli up to Salah, obviously an extremely good move. Martinelli, of course, has been in good form for Arsenal. Raya to Edison, you could potentially hold off on that move. Raya's got Nottingham Forest at home. It's a pretty solid fixture by itself. But Edison is a good replacement. I'm considering taking a -8. If there's any week to do it, it is a big double game week. So I don't mind those moves. Sebastian, so my team is Raya, Stones, Trent, Trippier, March, Grealish, Salah, Matoma, great midfield, Solanke, Haaland, Watkins. I'm thinking about a -8, Kepa to De Gea. I like the move. Castagna to Estupinian. I think triple Brighton is absolutely necessary. And Martinelli to Rashford. Great moves. I think those are really good moves. Rashford, for me, is probably one of the few players, apart from maybe Haaland, that is a 100% must-have for the rest of the season. Non-negotiable. Marcus Rashford has to be in your team. 2 double game weeks coming up. Superb form. 12 points against Spurs is really good. Got 6 against Everton, 10 against Brentford. He's been in really good form. Obviously, he didn't play 31, so he's returned in 3 of his last 3. Started to find that form again, which he had in this incredible run throughout the mid part of the season. So I think Marcus Rashford, absolutely essential. I like the moves. Felix, Grealish out, Bruno in a -4, worth it. I'm not a massive fan of Bruno. I was saying this last deadline stream, I was saying he doesn't get forward, doesn't get many chances. But then, of course, we've seen the game against Spurs. Fernandes should have had a huge haul in this game. Got himself an assist to Rashford, but should have easily had a goal, hit the crossbar from very close range with a 1-on-1, which he should have scored. Plus, he had a couple of other decent opportunities throughout the game. But I still think Grealish is better than Fernandes in terms of an FPL option, just because A, he's cheaper, and B, he has been in better form. Yes, Fernandes is getting good chances, but Grealish has been the one putting up points on the board, and Grealish has been getting into some good positions as well. So I'd be keen to have Grealish over Fernandes, especially if it's a -4 as well. Yes, Grealish blanked 33, but 12, 12, 7, he's really found his form. And Man City, they have good fixtures. They probably have slightly better fixtures than Manchester United. Saying that, United's fixtures are good, but I prefer Grealish to Fernandes. Fernandes was a player that I wasn't massively keen on, and also McAllister as well. I saw a lot of people transferring those guys in. For me, they just don't consistently put enough FPL points on the board week in, week out, whereas I think Grealish has been a bit more consistent recently. And also, I preferred March to McAllister just because he's been a lot more consistent. And I think March is going to be a really good option as well. He's just been dripping in the points without getting too many massive hauls. 11 in game week 27, dripped in with an assist here, an assist here, an assist here, an assist here. Just consistently getting those points. Nothing massive from March, but it is very good. He has been outscoring Matoma in recent weeks. Matoma, 3 consecutive blanks. He was outscoring March a lot earlier in the season, but I do like March as well. Haaland triple captain this week. Yes, sir, I've got him. I've got Haaland, my triple captain. If you have De Bruyne, he could be a good differential. Salah could be a good differential, of course. But yeah, lads, let me know as well. See if I can put out a poll. What everyone's doing with their triple captain. It'll be interesting to see if people have used their triple captain, or if they haven't, who are they using it on this week? If they are using it. North Star, which option do you prefer? Akanji, Salah, and Ciso. So 3. Akanji, Salah, and Ciso, or Edison, Bruno, Jota. I'm taking Akanji, Salah, and Ciso. I think Akanji, he ticks off the Man City defense for cheaper than Edison, and I think he's still got a good chance of playing most weeks. I'll have a look at Man City's predicted lineup as well. once again, I checked it before. De Bruyne had a 100% chance of playing the first fixture. I'll see what their defense is looking like. Stones 94%, Diaz 100%, Akanji 93%. So it seems the back three are all fairly nailed. Fantasy Football Fixer, pretty confident with the back three is going to be those three guys. So I'd probably go Akanji over Edison. So yeah, I like Akanji, Salah, and Seesaw as a combination. I think Salah a lot better than Bruno. Jota, I'm not massively sold on Jota. I think even if he is fit for both games, I don't think he's going to start both games. I think he's going to get a rest in one. There's only 3 days turnaround between Liverpool's fixtures, I believe. The 1st of May and the 4th of May. These are in Australian times, by the way, so the dates may be 1 day later. If you're in the UK, it'll be the 2nd and the 5th. But nonetheless, it's a 3-day turnaround. I don't think Jota will play both games. He may come off the bench in one of them for 20 to 30 minutes, but I think he's not going to start both. He'll definitely start one, but may come off the bench in another one. So personally, not massively sold on Jota, of course, with Nunes there. Diaz has come back recently for Liverpool. So I think Jota could see a bit more rotation, so I like the first option. Abdel, I have both my free hit and wildcard. Well, you're set, mate, for the rest of the season. What are you using this week? I'd be interested to know. I'm guessing you'll use a free hit this week and then wildcard after. I don't know. Let me know what you're doing, actually. It'd be interesting to see what your chip strategy is. Also, you haven't actually used one this week. I mean, you probably free hit this week and then wildcard afterwards is what I do, to be honest. Niels, hey mate, I've been struggling recently and I wonder if De Bruyne or Salah is the better option. It's really tough to call, especially coming into Gameweek 34. I think once Gameweek 34 is gone and Liverpool have had this double, De Bruyne is definitely the better option for the last 4 weeks of the season, 35, 36, 37, 38. Liverpool with only single Gameweek fixtures compared to City with the extra double in 37. Leeds at home, Everton away, 2 really good fixtures for Man City, and I think Brentford away as well is pretty solid. So I'd probably just say De Bruyne coming into Gameweek 34 just because I really like Man City's fixtures from 35. So yeah, just De Bruyne. But I'm happy to hold Salah in my team this week and then switch him to De Bruyne later on. I can afford any City defender. Which one is the best? I'd probably go Diaz. Diaz is definitely my favourite outfield City defender. Otherwise, Edison as well, a pretty good option in goals. Diaz, he's going to get similar points to Edison because he doesn't get any goals or assists really this season. Has he got a single goal or assist? No, he's not got a single goal or assist this year. So Diaz, very similar price, around 6 more to Edison. You could just go for Edison in goals if you wanted the goalkeeper, but Diaz, for me, whilst being the most expensive, definitely is the most consistent starter, and I think he will play most weeks, especially in double game weeks when there's a short turnaround. It could be more beneficial having the higher chance player of starting, which is Diaz. Spaghetti and Beans, good to have you back, bro. I saw you in the last deadline stream. Is not having Salah too much of a risk? This week, I think it is going to be too much of a risk, to be honest. I'll check his ownership inside the top 1 mil. 34% ownership on FPL in general. But looking on Fantasy Football Fix, I'll see the top 1 mil ownership. I'll check top 1 mil ownership tables and I'll check top 100k ownership tables. Just give it a sec. Salah owned by 48% of top 1 mil managers, so not a massive ownership. Top 100k, I'd expect pretty decent ownership. Around 48 again. So it's roughly 50%, both top 1 mil and top 100k. I think you could get away with not having him in the team. Definitely if you've got De Bruyne as well, you could get away with not having Salah in the team. But I think it's going to be really good to have him in. I'm really excited to see Salah haul this week because 48% of the top 1 mil have him. That's 520,000 people that don't have him that I can try and get points over. So I think Salah is going to be a good option. Not massively detrimental if you don't have him in, but definitely a huge advantage if you do. Felix, my team is Raya, Trippier, Shaw, Diaz, me, Grealish, Rashi, Matoma, March, Isak, Haaland. Do you have a third? Bench, Kepa, Kane, Botman, Saka. Any transfer suggestions? Potentially you could look to get rid of Saka. You I think you've missed a player in your team. What's that, a 3-3-3 formation? I think you may have missed 3-4-2. You're Kane there. I'm guessing you'll have Kane starting. And potentially Saka out is an option that you could look to make. Do you have... Yeah, you got Rashford, Matoma, March. 3 pretty solid options. You can maybe try and get up to De Bruyne from Saka. If not, you could drop him down to Andreas and look to upgrade another position. But I think it's a very solid team nonetheless, bro. I think it's a very, very, very strong team. Isak or Wilson? I'd probably go for Isak. They both seem to be sort of alternating starts right now. I'll look at Isak. He didn't get the minutes against Everton. Didn't actually given his assist, which is a bit harsh. 13 points, Gameweek 32. I think this week Isak should start the next fixture. I'm guessing Isak will play this game just because they alternate starts. Wilson, he played the majority, 86 minutes. Yeah, they seem to alternate their starting minutes. It's very weird. Like Wilson benched here, then starts here. 63 minutes here, then 45 there. I think Isak would probably be my preferred option. Also, just Wilson's an injury concern as well, so you just got to keep that in mind. So I think I would like Isak. Do you think it's worth moving Grealish to Salah for a hit then? It's such a tough call. I'd probably hold on to Grealish just because I think Grealish would be a really good option for the rest of the season as well, and especially on a hit. It's a tough one, but I'd hold Grealish instead of Salah. Start Kane or Trippier? I'd probably start Trippier and bench Kane. It's very annoying that you have to bench Kane, but I probably would choose to bench him. I could easily bench him in my team. If I wanted to, I could play Henry over him, Forest at home. Brentford got a clean sheet last week. I could double up on Newcastle's defence with Southampton at home. I don't really see Southampton scoring, but Newcastle's defence has been a bit dodgy recently, so I still want to go for Kane. I could also go for Watkins over Kane, but still, I'm trusting my boy Kane. He's been so good for us this year. Make sure I have Henry first bench spot as well. Beautiful. I think I'd still hold on to Kane, and I still bench in my team. I still play Kane, but for you, if I had to pick between Trippier and Kane, I'd play Trippier. Trippier is such an essential option. I think even if you're on a free hit or a wild card, you'd still have Trippier starting. Just because Southampton at home, you can almost lock in a clean sheet for Newcastle. Plus Trippier always is there with those attacking returns, and his ownership's so high that if he does haul and you don't have him starting, it could be very bad for the rank. Nearly 70% ownership. And I think in the top, he's very highly owned. In the top 100k, he's got a 96% ownership. So pretty much everyone has him. So if you don't have him, then you're screwed if he does do well. So I'd probably still start Trippier. Raya to Edison for a -4. Already have 2 City players in Grealish and Haaland. Yeah, I think that could be worthwhile because all you need is one Man City clean sheet to make up the value of the transfer and then any other points of profit. So I think that is worth it. I do back in Man City for 1 clean sheet. Even if they do just get, if Edison does just get 2 points in each of the 2 fixtures, then you've broken even on the value of the transfer of 4 points. So it's not that bad. You should need any form of returns from Edison and it'll be worthwhile. Muhammad, I'm using triple captain on Haaland. Is it fine? 100% agree. I've got on Haaland as well. I think he's the best option this week. I'll actually pull up our transfer plans as well. I'll see if let me turn that off. I'll kind of go through what I'm thinking for my team for the rest of the season. So Gameweek 34. I don't know if it's updated our transfer. We did White to Luke Shaw. Is he here? No. Bang. Luke Shaw's in there like that. That was our free transfer used. That's our team. Bang. Bang. Next week, 35, we have another free transfer available. I could potentially look to get De Bruyne in this week with Leeds at home. Saying that, Salah has Brentford at home, so I could still hold Salah. Roll the transfer. I'd probably play Watkins over Andreas, just because I like this fixture a lot more for Watkins than Manchester United away. The week after that, I'll have 2 free transfers available. Then I will probably go Salah to De Bruyne this week. Everton away, Leicester away, similar in difficulty. So I could do that. I still have an extra free transfer as well. Also having these Newcastle players will be useful. Maybe bench Watkins again. What is that leaving with? 1.1. So I could actually go Isak in this week for Watkins. That's my 2 free transfers used. I can play Isak. That's also a lot of double gaming plays. Maybe I have to bench Shaw. Just because I've already got De Gea in there, there's a bit of a risk doubling up in Manchester United's defence, despite Wolves at home being a good fixture. That's 2 free transfers. Gameweek 37. This is sort of when I want to get in more Man City players, so Grealish would be ideal. If not, I've got 1.6, so I could just go Henry to a Man City defender. Maybe that's the smarter play rather than tripling up on their attack. Like this. Bang. Get rid of Botman. That way we've got triple Man City, triple Brighton, double Manchester United, double Newcastle for Leicester at home. Actually, Luke Shaw's there. Chuck Luke Shaw. That's triple United with double, triple City with double, triple Brighton with double. Still no hits taken. Gameweek 38 comes around. Triple Brighton against Aston Villa away. Triple Manchester United against Fulham at home. Trippier against Chelsea away. I'm probably still going to start him. Just looking at my bench. Looking at my bench there. Maybe even go Ramsdale starting here just to avoid a Man U double up. Just decrease the risk. And I'm happy to have Triple City again there. So that's probably a transfer plan that I'm thinking of doing. Just to maximise my Man City players in the team and also have Isak in for the double. And then I don't take any hits for the rest of the year essentially, which is really, really good. And I have lots of players doubling most weeks. 36, I've got a lot of players doubling. That's at 9 or 6 doublers, triple Newcastle, triple Brighton, which is just about as much as you can get. 37, how many players have the single fixtures? 2. So once again, like Gameweek 34, 9 out of the 11 players with a double game week, which is really good. And Gameweek 38, it's a good chance as well for more points. Obviously, all single game week fixtures. But I like that. I like how the team's looking. Obviously, Trent, a player that I don't have in my team that maybe could damage my rank for the rest of the season. I think he's one that I'm missing out on by having triple premium in my team, just because I can't afford that extra extra point or 2 mil. Extra 2 mil in the bank to be able to get Trent in for either Henry or Botman if I wanted to make that upgrade. That could potentially hurt my rank. I think this week will be the week that I'm most concerned about not having Trent just because it's a double. In terms of the rest of the season, though, I'm not too concerned not having him in. All the rest of my defenders have pretty good single game week fixtures here. Brentford at home, it's a good chance for Liverpool. I wouldn't be surprised if Brentford score, though. It's not massively better than all of these other fixtures. And then, of course, Trent doesn't have any doubles, whereas I can have triple defenders or with double game weeks here. Once again, 3 out of the 4 defenders with double game weeks here where Trent doesn't. And game week 38, Liverpool have an okay fixture, I believe. If we just did that real quick. Southampton away for Liverpool versus Brentford away with Man City. So, not massively bad not having Trent, in my opinion. Shaw, Trent, Trippier, Darlow, bench 1. That's a very tough decision. I'd probably bench Trippier just because he's the only single game week player. Everyone else should hopefully play both fixtures. Omar already on a -8. Should I get Edison over Raya for an additional -4, or is it not worth it? I think it is. Honestly, I think that individually the transfer of Raya to Edison for a -4 is worth it because obviously it doesn't look great that you're taking a -12 in a single week, but Fulham away, West Ham at home, all Man City need is 1 clean sheet and you've made a profit on that transfer because Edison is obviously going to get an extra 4 points across the 2 fixtures just for playing, then any extra points for saves. And so as long as he gets that clean sheet point, that clean sheet in 1 game, that's 4 points, that cancels out the value of the transfer. Then any other points you get are a bonus. And I think Fulham away, surely that's a clean sheet for Man City. If not, West Ham at home, you'd have to think is a clean sheet for Man City. So I do think it's worth a -4. Is it okay to add Chelsea and Tottenham players? I probably wouldn't at this point. Yes, Chelsea have a double game week coming up, but there's no good options in my opinion from Chelsea apart from Kepa. But saying that, there's already other good goalkeeper options that people are going to prefer over Kepa, whether that's De Gea, Alisson, Edison. I think all those 3 keepers, whilst being more expensive, are still better than Kepa. So I don't think there's any outfield player from Chelsea that I would want in my FPL team. I wouldn't even touch him with a 10-foot ball. Agnic, my rank is 421, 586, exactly 5 spots above me. We must have a pretty similar like total points than it was 2091. What's your overall points? It must be so close. Yeah, a bit of a shambles the rank this season. Not great. What was it last season? 93k last season. Wasn't really. What was this? 2018. Wow. I think I must have played like the first 2 games and stopped. But yeah, 93k last season. If I can try and get inside the top 100k, please. Please. I need a good week this week. Haaland, triple captain. Go crazy. We've got a couple of good differentials in the team. Luke Shaw, I think, is a pretty solid differential. Only 16% ownership. March is also a pretty solid differential. 15% ownership. Andreas starting. If he could produce anything, that'd be huge. Rashford, a lot of people already have him in. Trippier, a lot of people already have him. Haaland, pretty much everyone has him. De Gea, I think it's going to come down to Manchester United's defence as well. Having the double Man U defence, that could be huge for a rank if they get a clean sheet in one of their 2 fixtures. Stupinian, a lot of people have got rid of Kane. News coming in on Mac 10, Gilmore might start up. That's, I guess, doesn't affect our team much, which is alright. Salah or Jota, if fit, definitely Salah, just because he's on penalties. And I think Jota could be a transfer rotation for the rest of the season, whereas Salah is pretty much nailed every week. I'm at triple Brighton midfield. Yeah, I think triple Brighton is definitely necessary, and at least double Brighton midfield is necessary. I wouldn't double up on their defence. Having one of their defenders, like a Stupinian, for example, is good, but triple Brighton midfield is also really, really good. Brighton's defence, I don't think they've been they haven't come up massive recently in terms of clean sheet tally. 1 clean sheet in their last 5 is not ideal from a Stupinian, especially when he's had some pretty good fixtures to be able to get clean sheets. Forest away was a good chance. Bournemouth away, he got the clean sheet in. Brentford at home, that was a crazy game. Captain Salah at 500k, not happy with the rank, so happy to ride off the season. Let's go. Yeah, honestly, that's a good mindset to have. You might as well send it. I'm in a similar position. It's not a good rank at this time in the season. It's not where I'm usually at this time in the season. So maybe I do just send it with a differential triple captain. But I'm so concerned that Haaland's going to have a massive score. And I think my logic this week is I play it safe with the Haaland triple captain. Obviously, some people have already used their triple captain as well. So if people that don't have a triple captain chip this week, I'm going to make up a lot of points on them with Haaland, assuming that he scores. Plus, I'm going to make up more rank with my differentials. In March, Shaw, De Gea, Andreas, Kane is also becoming a lot more differential. So I think that's where I make up my rank this week, rather than on the triple captain chip. Saying that, a triple captain chip is extremely good way to make up rank on managers. I think I had De Bruyne triple captain last season, was massive when he had that huge haul against Wolves. I might have had him a captain or triple captain, which was massive for our rank. Mahrez or Fernandes, who to sell to Salah for a -4? I'd probably sell Mahrez just because I'm not 100% certain on his minutes. Fernandes I don't really like as an FPL option either, but I just think he's way more nailed than Mahrez. So you just, at the end of the day, you need the player that's getting more minutes. And whilst Fernandes hasn't put up many FPL points recently, Spurs, he should have had a huge haul. He should have had a lot more points than he did. So Mahrez, I'll probably go Mahrez to Salah. Start Trippier, Botman or Henry. That's kind of that was the situation that we had to choose between. Obviously, we've gone with Trippier, as you can see here. I think Trippier, he just has the best attacking potential out of these 3. Botman has pretty much 0 attacking potential. Henry has been pretty solid as well. 3 assists this season, but nothing near what Trippier has been able to produce. And Southampton at home is probably slightly a better fixture than Nottingham Forest at home. So I'd still prefer the Newcastle defender starting, and if I had to pick between Trippier and Botman, I'm going Trippier every day of the week. Agnic, would you use bench boost with the Verson, Darlow, March and Watkins on bench, or should I save it for Gameweek 36? What you could do, Agnic, is go onto this website, FPL Plan. If you just look up FPL Planner, I think it's the first link, and you can just tab across different game weeks and just plan out your transfers, see what your team is for Gameweek 36, and if the bench is better than Gameweek 34, then bench boost that week. And that's what I would do to figure out whether you should bench boost this week or the week after. But your bench boost is pretty solid for this week. Those 4 guys are pretty good. Mahrez or Grealish? I'd probably go Grealish. I'll just double check the Man City predicted team again because I think I saw Mahrez had a decent chance of starting, but I think Grealish was just higher. Let's pull up the Man City team. For their fixture against Fulham, Grealish has a 100% chance. Mahrez 75, but he's going to have competition in his spot from other players, whether that's Bernardo Silva and Foden as well. They could also take his starting minutes away. I think Grealish is just a lot more nailed. Mahrez is quite often the one that gets rotated more. Then the second fixture of the double game against West Ham, Grealish 100% chance again, and then Mahrez just a 59% chance to start. So Grealish is definitely a lot higher chance to play across the two fixtures in the double. So I'd probably go Grealish. Alexander, Chilwell, Raya, Bruno, Watkins to Trent, Edison, Salah, Greenwood. So essentially, you're dropping Watkins down. I think getting rid of Watkins now is a good move to make. Watkins was a really good option up until probably this Gameweek 33. He had this excellent scoring run, which he was really good to own for from 21 onwards. But now I think it's the time you look to get rid of Watkins. These aren't good fixtures at all from an attacking perspective. 5 fairly solid defences generally. Man U's defence has been in good form, as has Wolves. I think it's 2 clean sheets in the last 3 for Wolves now. Spurs' defence, whilst being leaky against Newcastle, has been solid across the season. Liverpool, they've been a bit leaky, but it's still a solid defence, as has Brighton. So I think Watkins is a good chance to move on. So I do like those moves. Chilwell, I think it's time to move him on. Chelsea's defence is so unreliable. And Bruno Fernandes, I've voiced this, I'm not a massive fan of him. Salah in is a good move. Edison in is a good move. Trent in is a good move. So yeah, I like it. Kenyon, I'd go for Grealish over Mahrez to answer that question. Grealish and De Bruyne, Pep start. Yeah, they both have a 100% chance of playing, I'm pretty sure. De Bruyne has a 100% chance both weeks, and so does Grealish, according to Fantasy Football Fix. So you'd have to have those two guys if you want a Man City midfielders. Grealish to Salah, and who's that to Jota from -8? Kenya, thanks for that help. No worries, man. All good. But yeah, I like this transfer plan that I've got sorted out here. Yes, it is pretty template, to be fair. Especially around, I don't know, Triple Newcastle could break the template a bit, especially with Isak and Botman. 37, Triple Man City is pretty template, I would assume, whether that's De Bruyne or Grealish in midfield. And these 3 Brighton lads, pretty template, as is Rashford. Kane, I think will become a lot more differential by the end of the season, in my opinion. A lot of people are going to look to sell him just because he only has single game weeks. And I think the double Manchester United defence could also be decent for us as well. Brian, how's it going, mate? You think purely on Gameweek 35, Alvarez is better than Isak, plus 0.8 for Gameweek 38. I'll get Alvarez/Isak this week to fund Edison and bench. I'd probably go for Isak. I'm not sure about Alvarez. What's his expected? Yeah, check his expected minutes, but I still think Isak will have more minutes. Yes, Isak's a chance for rotation as well. So we go back. Bang. But, Wilson can get injured, which is a thing that you have to stay wary of. Whether he's going to get injured in the remaining games of the season, potentially unlikely. But Isak has been more consistent than Wilson in minutes. He's starting most games here. Bench, start, bench. I'd probably just go Isak. He's been in good form as well. I think such a risk having Alvarez. Just don't think his minutes. It's gonna be great. Kane dangerous for FPL. Win or lose, Kane perform. Bro, Kane, he may not look like a great option on paper just because he's got single game fixtures, but I'm a massive fan of him. I've had him for a lot of game weeks this season. He's been so good. Yes, people are transferring him out, but look at these scores. Only 1 blank since game week 27. 13, 6, 7, 9, 2, 6, 11. Even when he's got hard fixtures, he scores. Manchester United at home, pretty difficult fixture, he still scores. Newcastle away is a difficult fixture, still scores. Brighton at home, definitely not the easiest fixture, still scores. Liverpool, how do you go against Liverpool earlier in the season? Still scored against Liverpool earlier in the season. So even though he has tricky fixtures, he finds the back of the net. And I think he still can outscore double game week players. Agnick, Raya, Darlow, Shaw, Trent, Estupiñán, Salah, Rashford, Matoma, March, Grealish and Haaland. Without any hits, any improvement suggestions, I think it's a really good team, bro. I don't think you need to take hits for that. That's a beautiful team. You could go Raya to Edison maybe, but otherwise I think it's a really good team. I think Alvarez starts game week 35 with the UCL, but Haaland hasn't been benched. Yeah, I know that's always a consideration people have in mind with like Champions League fixtures and everything. Like surely Haaland's going to get a rest this week. He's only had a 3-day turnaround. He's going to get a rest, but then he just keeps playing. So you never know. Maybe Alvarez plays champs, but I doubt that's going to be the case. But I think it's so much of a. I think Isak is definitely a higher chance to play than Alvarez. Alvarez is such a risk. Also, thanks for everyone that has been subscribing throughout the stream. If you are liking the stream, as always, drop a like. We are trying to hit 12,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you're liking what you're seeing, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate the support. I'm loving all the questions as well. I appreciate everyone dropping questions in the chat. Also, what do you think? Andreas here, Man City, Liverpool. Do I play him over these single game week players, right? Because if Henry or Botman get a clean sheet, assume that's 6 points. Taking into account there's no bonus and no yellow cards, right? Andreas, just for playing, is probably only going to get 4. Maybe he gets 5 if Fulham somehow get a clean sheet against Man City or Liverpool. If Henry or Botman get a clean sheet, they do actually outscore Andreas. Or do I take the chance? Andreas has the extra chance of returns here, Man City, Liverpool. He probably doesn't get a goal or assist, but do I have him starting just in case he does? And hope that Henry and Botman don't get a clean sheet. I still think I'm going to start Andreas just because he has a double game week. But I don't know. It could be a bit of a headache. Justin, what's up, bro? How you going? I thought it would be easy picking a free hit team. Oh, yeah. So, I was trying to say that before. Would you keep March or Matoma? I'm trading in KDB. Honestly, I'd keep in March. March has better underlying numbers, in my opinion. We'll look at the expected, especially earlier on in the season. I'm not sure in recent weeks, but I know earlier on, when Matoma was going through this run, he didn't have massive underlying numbers like 0.19 expected goal involvements for 10 points, 0.3, 0.6. Across the year, March has been very, very solid. Look at 1.51, 0.4, 0.6. Not great there, but he still chipped in with an assist. Honestly, I would say March based on statistics, but I think the safer option is to go for Matoma just because he has a really high ownership. If I pull up the ownership table, I'm pretty sure Matoma is one of the highest owned players inside the top 1 mil. So maybe if you wanted to play it safe, you keep Matoma, but March does have better underlying numbers, so he technically should outscore Matoma for the rest of the season, but you just take the extra risk with March. So it depends how you want to play it. Yeah, Matoma is the 3rd highest owned player amongst top 1 mil managers. It goes Trippier, Haaland, and then Matoma, which is crazy. 75% ownership for Matoma. So I guess it just depends how you want to play the rest of the season. If you want to play it safe, hold Matoma. You want to play it risky, go March. Shonav, Zinchenko to Lindelof for a -4. I definitely wouldn't go Lindelof. I'd either go Darlow or Shaw if I was going to go for a Man U defender. But I think an Arsenal defender to a Man U defender, provided that you pick the right Man U defender, could be worth a -4. Who have bench? I'm not sure what you're saying. Bench boost could be a good week to. It could be a good week to use bench boost this week if you haven't used it. If you also have triple captain available, I'll probably use triple captain this week and then bench boost game week 36. Because I think if you look at our team game week 36, a pretty solid bench once again. Like a lot of defenders there, but pretty good fixtures. Andreas with Southampton away is not bad as well. This week's bench also pretty decent. Pretty good fixtures again for the defenders. Watkins with United away is not easy, but the form he's in. Ramsdale Also could be a chance for a clean sheet. Chelsea at home, they haven't scored that many goals recently. If Watkins don't score this week, I'll transfer Isak. You could even go Isak in now. I think Southampton at home is a good chance for Isak to score. He's definitely going to be playing this week against Southampton because he didn't play that many minutes last week in his midweek game. So I think Wilson's going to be the player that gets benched. And so for that reason, I reckon you could go Isak in this week if you wanted to. We're pretty getting towards the end of the stream, boys. I'm going to have to drop off early, which is a little bit annoying. But if anyone can drop in just their final questions, once again, if you have enjoyed the stream, leave a like and subscribe. It really does support the channel. I appreciate it. But I'm just going to answer the last couple questions and wrap it up. Good luck to everyone as well for Gameweek 34 as well. Hopefully the triple captains pay off if you got them. Last couple questions. Will Kane, Fernandes, Henry to Greenwood, Salah, Trent for a -8, or go Fernandes and Kane to Isak and Salah for a -4? I love those moves. I think I'll go Fernandes and Kane to Isak and Salah for a -4. I think Salah will outscore Fernandes massively for the rest of the season. And Kane, yes, he will score well, but Isak, with a good fixture this week and a double game week coming up, it could be worthwhile, especially to afford that move from Fernandes up to Salah. Will Luis Diaz from Liverpool be starting? I don't think he will. I think Jota will still start. But if Jota's not fit, Diaz may also not start because Darwin Núñez is there. I will give you Luis Diaz's chance of starting. He's only got a 13% chance to start according to Fantasy Football Fix, so probably not this week. Well, at least not for the first fixture of his double. He could potentially be a chance for the second fixture of the double, though, if Jota gets benched. Peter, Saka, Watkins, Henry to Rashford, Greenwood, Trent, or Saka, Watkins out for Rashford, Jota. 14 points away from number one in my league. He's got Trent, Rashford, and Jota. Okay, I see. I think you can afford not having Jota. I think he's a bit of a troll FPL option, Jota, in my opinion. I think he's a bit of a troll. That could backfire this week if he hauls, but I don't think he's going to start both fixtures. I think he's only going to start one. So potentially you take the -4 for the first set of moves. Shamal Mime. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say your name, but yeah, Newcastle the game at 36 double. You can either get in their options game at 35 or 36. Hello, what is your history in the rankings? We were 90k last season, which was alright. This season's not been great for us. 421k. We'll try and get inside the top 100k again. It just seems to keep getting harder and harder every year with more players, and the average level of FPL players is getting better. But we'll try and get inside the top 100k this season again. We were top 100k last year. But thanks, boys. Thanks for everyone tuning in. I do appreciate all the comments, all the subscriptions and everything. If you guys enjoyed the stream, as always, leave a like and subscribe. There's going to be more FPL videos coming your guys' way shortly. There's going to be knee-jerk reaction coming tomorrow. We'll discuss some transfer plans for Gameweek 35, team selection for Gameweek 35 as well. All videos coming up throughout the week, so stay posted for those. Good luck to everyone for double Gameweek 34.